So you remember a while ago, I had shared a video and probably just some different notes about it along the way of doing the 120 by 20 foot ground mural, Savannah land. Well, finally putting together the in progress video for the how it's made. So we'll take a look back through the footage and check out all the steps along the way, the fun stuff, and touch on a couple other things, explain the project a little better. Also, I've got this one now on my website for the case study. So there's a different format of explanation. So it was a big project. It was fun. It was really good. So I'm excited to share it with y'all. This project was part of a larger project, the concept of which came from Erin Westling of W Projects. So she proposed that the city do this long ground mural in a spot where they're doing revitalization. And this was proposed to be 5 different murals by 5 different artist teams that would be continuous. And that each piece is 20 feet wide and 120 feet long. So by the time it's finished, it's 600 feet long, which would make it the longest mural in Georgia. This area, the city has been working for some years planning to revitalize it, and that got started because the community, Cloverdale, they wanted to take this old historic building, the Waterworks Pump House, which has a really interesting history and now is designated historic landmark. They got that started and they wanted that to be brought back to life. And then another thing that they did in this area, they created an arena, so the M Market Arena. That's now the main focal point right here. So they started with that to start to build the economy over there and hope to give people jobs in that area. That's what the citizens were looking for. And then the surrounding spot, so from there, from the arena to the Waterworks building, is about the 600 feet. So the mural spans from the front of the M Market Arena all the way to the Waterworks building. And that whole area is being planned to be like a walkway on the mural, and then just a hangout. Eventually they like to have some pop-up shops and some food trucks kind of there on a regular basis. Then the Waterworks building they're hoping to turn into a market. So a farmer's market, some artist studios, maybe some office spaces. These are all the things that have been proposed. I'm not part of the city of Savannah, so I can't say for sure that that's what's happening, but that was the initial plan. And I think that's hopefully what they're sticking to, because it sounds pretty cool. So crazy enough, it's been 2 years now since this project was completed and 3 years since the initial process started. So the way all that came to be is Olivia Morrison-Bressler contacted me about this project that the city put out for proposal, and we discussed how we'd like to do it and who we might want to work with. So we reached out to a few different artists. I usually pull in my sister, Shaye Garrigan, and my husband, Keeth, because they're both very talented and good to work with. And then from there, we have a few other artists that we know that we had an idea that we'd probably work well together, our styles fit, and they're very professional. So that would be Courtney Fredette, Caroline Rose, and Tim Patterson. So the way this got started was we all kind of came together, did some brainstorming, sketching some designs. Then Caroline and I took those designs and kind of meshed them together digitally. And then the one that prevailed the most was Courtney's design of the game board. So we took that kind of concept of the game board and everyone else's ideas and tried to figure out how to put these together. The other things that you need to know is we were given a theme to begin with, which was Savannah pathways and a specific color palette. The city did a couple layers of primer first, which helped, so we weren't using as much paint. But the first step that we did in our digital design, we broke that into sections that would be the equivalent of 15-foot sections. And then when we were out on site, we painted a grid. And of those 15-foot sections, we decided to do some color blocking. So we took the predominant color in that area and just laid down a flat color. So that's what you'll see us out here doing with our big rollers, having some fun. And all of us were on site that day, so this went by pretty quickly. Also dried pretty quickly because it was still warm in October. You might notice along the way that our mural, so it got pushed back further than it was supposed to because of construction. So there's one section where it's kind of all cracked up, concrete and asphalt. And unfortunately, Caroline got that section. But after we did this part, we came back and we laid a grid on top of that. These are roughly like 5 by 5. And that way we could figure out where to properly place the rest of the elements. Oh, here, now you see it. So here's a good example. This is Shaye working on the Forsyth Park fountain. So, you know, a lot of grid stuff, especially because trying to look at something this large scale, close up on the ground, it's really tricky. So this was definitely a challenge for all of us. And even though we did all the grid with the with spray paint, so that would definitely last, and we knew we were going to paint over that, all of the other elements, for the most part, we used chalk. We'll just take a little tour around. So this is just some in progress stuff of the fountain. There's my waving girl, Florence. You can see we kind of jumped around a little bit, like everyone had their own different sections that they worked on, and then we would help each other out. And depending on what color you were using, you know, you kind of move around a little bit, or, you know, sometimes it's just getting bored and needing, or getting stuck and needing something fresh to work on. So you can see us, there's Shaye, hey, wandering around, trying to figure out what we're doing next, waiting for sections to dry, you know, all that good stuff. But we each did our own, everyone kind of got designated different things to work on based on what they wanted to work on and their skill set. And then we would kind of move around and help each other out with the different sections. So Shaye did this part. This was the aqueduct. And then up in this section, the magnolia tree, Sean worked on that. The waterworks building was Courtney's. All the lettering was Caroline's, and she also did this moon. Olivia worked on the entry, the Wormslow Historic Site, and the Railroad Museum. A few of us had part in that, Olivia, me, and Shaye. Courtney also did some of the wildlife here, alligator and the egret. And Tim also did some wildlife, a dolphin, and Olivia got a sea turtle in there. So got some cute stuff going on. Talmadge Bridge was Sean. And for the actual game board, that was mostly Olivia and Caroline that kind of handled that. That was actually the first main thing that we put in. After we did the color blocking, we put in the game board and then sort of built around that. St. Mark's Church, that was my piece that Shaye and a friend are working on, the aqueduct right next to it. And Tim also did this cargo ship. So it was a nice way to blend everyone's styles together, and make sure everyone got a significant piece of this mural. And I think it worked out really pretty well. So another reason this worked out so well is because of Andraka Callie. So once we got into the painting phase, I offloaded my project management duties to Bria Callie. She's excellent at that. Their company specializes in marketing. That they helped us with the scheduling and making sure that everyone was taken care of during this process. So that was a huge help. Also, everyone on the team had other designated roles, like Courtney managed the materials, Olivia helped us get T-shirts for the team, and Shaye and I designed those. Sean did a lot of the math and engineering kind of side of it. So we really all came together and pulled our weight. Then to pull them all together as a game, we decided to create a web page for it. So this is modeled after Candyland. You know, we've got the whole game board in there. And then we have either historically significant or current day things about Savannah that are included throughout the mural, throughout the game. So when you go to the webpage, you get to learn about that as you play your way through the game. So you can find this gameplay page from our Instagram link in the bio or visit the QR code that will be on site. So this will teach you how to play the game. It also comes with a spinner in case you don't decide to bring your own giant dice like we did. Spin the wheel, see where you'll land. Boop. And then move to your square. So some of these squares are special squares. You lose a turn, you move ahead, you move back. Scroll down to find out what happens. And along with that, you'll find a little bit of history about each item. So press the button to jump directly to what you're looking for. Find out what happens about the history. And then, if you're feeling so inclined, as the other players are taking their turns, you can scroll down to find more information about other items in the mural and their historic significance. So the other interesting thing for our piece, out of the 5 different mural teams, ours was chosen to pair up with Loop It Up Savannah. So we connected with their students and we did a workshop in one of the schools. And then the following day, the students came out. So we had a few big groups, ages, I think, 6 to 12 or so, somewhere in that range. And we got to kind of show them how this works and the purpose of public art. And they all got to do their own. First, we did drawings with them where they could kind of sketch out if they had a game board, what would it be? And then they also got to take part in doing some painting on the mural. So we have a lot of these like funky designs in the trees at the entryway because that's where they added their mark. And now we welcome you to Savannah Land. Shaye knows a photographer, videographer with a drone, so his name is Hunter Ray. They work together to get this footage. So Shaye was the photo director, and then Hunter got this and a lot of great photos of our team individually. So then very recently, this past spring, we got to have a celebration. So a few different organizations put on this this event. A ton of different people came out. We had the citizens of that neighborhood able to come out and use the space. They put in a kind of a play area for the kids. And then for our piece, we brought our own blow-up dice for the occasion. Got the mayor, Van Johnson, to play the game with us. And one of the other artists, Brian McGregor, from one of the other teams. And it was a great day. Felt pretty awesome. Well, this was a long one, but you made it all the way through. So that might mean you're somebody who's looking to take on a new project, possibly an interactive mural or something where you're looking to bring the community together. So if you have a public art piece or a personal project, just give us a shout. I'll see you in the next making of. I'm sure this bit's more fun than the waterworks building.
1000%.